Good morning and welcome back to Tarot Oracle Runes. Guys, I realize the channel has not been doing so hot lately. I've had a lot of personal things going on, but I do want to say that I pulled cards this morning. Actually, I pulled them yesterday. And then some things came up out of my control, which seems to be happening a lot lately. And it's like, one of the cards we have here is, I remember Soul Plan, the fated plan versus the Destiny Plan. So I know I'm not the only one going through this, and that's part of why I started my channel, was because I realized a lot of people go through a lot of the same things, just and experience it in different ways. Everyone loves someone, lost someone, learned something new, you know, all that stuff, right? Which is why I like the Oracle runes so much. Oracle and the runes better than I do the tarot, because everybody goes through, the tarot describes everybody's journey, right? But everybody goes through similar things. You get married, you get divorced, you have kids, grandparents, family, you know, job, co-workers, the whole shebang, right? So what we've got this morning is I've got the Starseed Oracle, and I'm looking at how this is all laying out and going, I'm not the only one. Okay, so this morning the main card we've got first is the perspective, okay? None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. All of us, oh goodness, I spilled coffee on my cards. Sorry about that. So all of us go through similar things. So zoom out and see what is going on in your life right now that you realize, and this too shall pass. Okay? People in our lives teach us a lesson. They leave. Keep the lesson, lose toxicity, right? So a lot of us are on a double mission, because you have your own mission and how you affect other people, to me, and how you help other people, teach other people, is like is always a double mission, because you always have your own mission, but you also, and I love in here we have two portals opening up. Okay, so portals to me are when either something happens like the lunar and solar eclipses. Portals also happen when you make a different decision and you jump timelines. You make another decision, so therefore you take a new opening or new opportunity that shows up that you now decide you're going to go down that instead, right? So I have been working on clearing out a lot of toxicity, we've had, if you've been reading my post, in the small community I live in the past 4 months, we've had an average of one person a month passing away. Okay, I'm just going to say it. We're 2 minutes in. You can't say any certain things within the first 7 seconds of your videos. So we all realize that we love someone, lose someone, right? So some of you may go through something that opens up also a new portal or a new timeline where you decide you're leaving everything behind, okay? And then you're actually standing there and wondering what's going to come next. So I'm just going to go over this with y'all and tell y'all what's coming, what I'm seeing here. So one thing I'm seeing is that the Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So this to me is talking about when you do make a decision to make another decision. You're not happy with a job. You're not happy with, like I recently let go of a job that I thought was going to fulfill me in a lot of different ways, because I was going to be helping other people. And at first I kept hearing how, and maybe someone else has experienced this, and at first I kept hearing how the people that came in to help people were takers and were trying to manipulate the system. And I found that to be true, but I also found the opposite to be true. You'll have clients that want you to take advantage of the system, or in some sort of way ask you to do something that's unethical. And you have to be really strong to stand up and go, no, I'm not doing that. Okay? And I've told the last 2 clients, I'm not doing that. Literally to their faces. And, oh, well, I wasn't saying you should do it. I'm thinking, yeah, you were. I know exactly what you were doing. So is there somebody or something leaving your life that you suddenly woke up one morning and you said, hell no, I'm not doing that no more. Or I'm not compromising my own feeling of balance. I'm not compromising my own feeling of just giving in and letting you call all the shots. Maybe you've let go of a friend or a partner or a job or something that you're wanting to live to the highest, most spiritual part of your life. So this energy is coming in with this, and you've already stepped through it, where you are in your sovereignty now, where you are deciding that something you've let go of was really not in your best interest, so you thought it was in your best interest and several others at the same time. So what have you let go of, or what are you stepping into that you're realizing that you now feel more spiritual, that now you feel more like it's like a big huge sigh of relief that you've let go of something, okay? And you know, people aren't always meant to stay in our life for, sometimes they're there for a reason, sometimes they're just there for a season, sometimes they're just there to show you something. And you might even sometimes feel like because of them you're not being yourself, you're not being your true authentic self. So if you feel like that, or you've had that happen to you recently, the universe is telling you to, you know, let go of whatever it is that's no longer working for you and step into not even micromanaging the universe, waiting to see what the next opportunity is. And sometimes while you're waiting for that void to fill up, you can do a lot of thinking. Don't overthink. Don't overthink things. If there's something that's meant to leave your life, let it go. You know, sometimes we have fear of the unknown. We have fear of stepping into our true power, stepping up and saying, you know, maybe I am overthinking this. Maybe I am clinging to something that's been dead and dying for a while. Okay? So they want you, your angels and your ancestors, they're wanting you to zoom out and get a different perspective on it. Because not everything in your life is meant to stay there for the rest of your life. I have learned on my own personal journey over the past 3 years, since I started this channel, I have released a lot. And maybe some of you have released a lot too, right? Maybe also some of you have even moved away from family, kids, ditto, same thing here. Or maybe you've even hung so tightly to something thinking that you had to have it in your life, or that it was what made you whole, and then come to find out there's nothing more you can learn from it. If there's nothing more you can learn from it and it's trying to leave, let it go. Good luck. Love you. Bye. Go off to college now, you know, whatever, whether your kids, grandkids, a job. I kept trying to do this one job because, like I said, I kept wanting to help people. And everyone kept warning me about how people that got into the job would, got to where they would take advantage of the system. And I found that it was just equally true on the other side of it, where the clients would say, well, how can we take advantage of it? And if you're a good person, if you're one of those people that is definitely someone that likes to follow the rules, those kind of jobs are not going to work for you. Even if it was something in the past that you were willing to kind of skate through a little bit, or not that you were trying to do anything wrong, but if you were just even trying to go with the flow, and then you realize this feels like a really heavy burden, like the Ten of Wands energy from the tarot deck is what I'm kind of feeling here, like a burden that you just knew that it no longer fit. Your skin felt tight. The whole idea felt tight. It felt like it was time to let something go. And you were maybe trying to skirt around it, or trying to find a way so nobody got hurt. Okay? So you're micromanaging. Quit micromanaging. If something's meant to go, let that shit go. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that. Because sometimes to let it go, you have to make the decision, right? And when you do, sometimes then up comes the fated life versus the destiny life. Well, sometimes you have to make a better choice for yourself. Okay? Sometimes you'll have, like recently I was sitting here at my kitchen table. I was doing some journaling in my journal. And I literally had two things, and I think this is a new gift that's coming in for me. I literally was sitting here, and I was like doing this kind of, I don't know if you would call it remote viewing, but I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, for a moment, I literally looked up, and I was in my mother's old house. And I was sitting there at her kitchen table, at the dining room table, and I was writing something by candlelight. Maybe it was something I did as a kid. And I momentarily, literally went back into that space and that time. And I was like, whoa, this is new. Okay. But like right before that happened, there was this bright light coming over my shoulder. And if you notice how dark it is in the back of my camper back here, because that's my bedroom back up in there, right? And this is my living room, which isn't very big. I mean, I'm in a camper, guys, you know. So, and I was seeing this light, like there was an angel back there going, I want you to pay attention to this, okay? And it's gotten to where now when the angels come in, I literally, sorry guys, I'm just getting over a little bit of a cold. I would literally see, like I did a reading in the park not too long ago. I'm going to do some more of those because people seem to like those. And the angels literally, I mean, while I'm doing, I'm going up, here comes an angel, because I could see it flying in. Okay, and so that even made me ask another question. Do angels really, like, fly? Because sometimes I literally see them walking in with their wings flapping. Other times I literally see them flying in, and it's like the way they use their energy it was really kind of different, okay? And I think depending on how severe the situation is and how fast the messages they want to get to you, that they either fly in or they come running in with their wings flapping. It was really kind of an odd sensation. But, and this angel was all in white with this red sash around its belly, long blonde hair, and it came in to give me a message for a mother for her child, okay, or a parent for their child. So, but this light came in, and then I was sitting there, and then I was like, I kind of shook my head, and I went back to writing. A couple of seconds later, I was sitting in my old house I had of 20 years doing the same thing as what I was doing here at the table. So it's like they were kind of pointing out to me different times in the past where I have been in a total alignment with what was going on. Has anyone else experienced that? Because I really like to talk about that, because I'm like, I know my gifts are different than everybody else's, just like your gifts are different than everybody else's. So has there been a time where you were sitting there and you suddenly had these flashbacks to these other places, or literally felt like you were there, and you felt like this is where everything's leading me to? And it has something to do with my journaling and just the way the energy lined up for a moment. I was in 3 places simultaneously. Guys, that's the weirdest feeling, because, I mean, I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I'm going, I'm back in my, it all like a flash. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, there was a message there. So I'm like, it must be something about writing it into existence. Okay. So, I found this at the dollar store. Let me see where it's at here. Yes, guys, I am ADHD. I make jokes about that all the time. I am not as organized as I would like to be. But I have this black book that says notes on it. It's down below my feet, which I'm not going to try to get it. And it's not a wire bound. It looks just like a book. And that's what my new journal is. And I've been journaling in that. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to write my new existence. And I have been doing some journaling of doing the fated versus the destiny. So try writing into existence. What do you want your life to look like going into the near future? Okay. You have a choice. What choice do you want to make? What people do you want around you? What do you want to see happening? I literally sat down and wrote everything I want to do for the next year of my life. I want my channel to grow. I want to help people. I want to make my community bigger. I am letting go of people. I'm letting go of places around here that have been dragging me down. I've decided which friends I want to hang on to. They are the ones that uplift me. I have several females around me right now that are very uplifting people. 2 in particular. And they all have my back. They're like, they all come in and listen to, 2 of them come in and look at my channel sometimes, comment. I've got a friend back home in Mississippi that's been going back and looking at my channel and giving me some helpful advice and some things that we could possibly do together in the future that she wants to try. And I am now making the fated versus the destiny. In other words, not just letting anything happen. I'm now making even bigger goals for myself, bigger plans for myself. So are you doing the same thing? Are you looking at your past and at a point in your life now where you're going, I don't want to just accept anything that happens to me. Okay? Now I'm going to have stronger boundaries. I'm now going to make things happen for me simply because this is what I want. So how is your mindset changing? How is your everyday to day changing? The universe is telling you, take baby steps. And I see here that some of you are going to be doing that. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Okay? So, again, we have another portal here. And guys, I know I talk a lot about portals. I have 3 more decks coming. We're also going to take a look at what's blocking you. We're also going to take a look at some spiritual symbols, okay, which are 2 of the new decks I got. And we're going to pull some cards on those and get some other advice for you on this. And because I know I'm not the only one going through this. Like San at San Tarot, she says that she originally started her channel because she wanted to see where life was going and how other people might also be going through the same thing or something similar to that. I'm not going to try to quote her, but everyone is on their own journey, but we all go through similar things, okay? So what baby steps? And it feels like here too, the universe is starting to shout at you. It is starting to point the way, like see these little arrows right here? It's starting to say, you now need to make this decision, which is going to open up even more opportunities for you by going into making fated versus destiny type things. In other words, by making choices of where you want to go and what you want to let go of, more opportunities come up when you are in alignment with what you're meant to be doing. Okay? So, and you see how all this energy is opening up here? Okay? I do believe that's a little heart. I never saw that before. Heart-based feeling, heart-based decisions. Okay? Where does your heart want you to go? Okay? So, one step at a time, through the right decisions for you, regardless of anyone else. Okay, this is about you. This is not about the husband, the kids, the wife, the co-workers. This is about you. What do you want your journey to look like? Okay? And once you write it into existence, write it down in your book, write it down. I'm really getting into that these days. I literally wrote down a 4-page thing of what I want for the next year of my life and what I want my life to look like a year from after that. Okay, so this next year is going to be all about building. I've got a list of checkpoints to do. I've got a list of certain things that I'm doing. I'm working on jettison things out of my life that no longer are possible because I know they don't fit into my journey of where I want to go. Okay, a year from now, I want to have a new camper. I want to have a truck. That's on my list. What do you have? Do you have things that you want to do in particular? I want to do some traveling and do tarot readings, my oracle readings in different places. I want to go out and eventually maybe even meet some people. I want to go to different places that I've been seeing. If you've been watching my channel, if you've been one of those people, you've been with me for a while now. Some of my readings last year, before I had my current partner, I kept talking about these places they were showing me, and I now have it in my craw here of where I'm going to go, literally go to those places. So you might have to go back and look at some of my older videos over a year ago of places and people they were showing me, like the girl with the little boy. It said to her son or her brother that has Down syndrome. It kept saying, it's important, it's important. I can literally hear his voice. Now that I feel like in some way may have already happened, but I want to go to where I think he is, and I want to travel there. And a year from now, that's what I want to do. What do you want to do a year from now that you know the angels have been telling you about or your guides have been telling you about? Ooh, I just picked it up. Somebody says, ooh, I have had this reoccurring dream. What reoccurring dreams have you had? Baby steps are going to get you there. Focus on what you want to see happen in your life, not to do with anybody else. Because the universe is calling you. They're asking you to step up. This year is going to be a major year for major change in a lot of people's lives. Where do you want to go next? Okay? And then we've got this deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. And your angels are going to come in, or maybe they already have come in, and they are starting to heal you because you're meant to be a spiritual leader in the future. Okay? Someone is getting visions of what their future looks like. Someone is getting, how do I say that? You're just, as you step forth onto the path of where you're going, you're starting to see where your life's going to be different. You're not going to be in the same spot that you are. You're not going to be dealing with the same people. You're going to have a new level of spiritual people around you. New people are going to come in to give you advice. I'm hearing something about the pineal gland being activated. Okay. And they're saying something about, okay, again, if you've been on my channel for any long length of time, I used to talk a lot about God's army, but regardless of what your religious faith is, they're talking about source. They're talking about these spiritual leaders that step up, that are very in touch with their guides, very in touch with their angels. I know there's quite a few, I've heard of a couple of different people that are really deep in touch with their angels or their guides that even sometimes step up and I've done it before too, where I just had this strong feeling I needed to do a reading for somebody out there. And I actually did one. I contacted her and I said, I felt compelled to do a reading for you. And this is what it told me. And she was like, wow, this really resonated. Thank you so much. And she's actually had someone else help her too. I think What I'm picking up is that as those of us that are meant to be spiritual leaders move into the future, a lot of us are going to have similar angels and guides directing us together. Like, I told somebody one time that I said, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I do know in the future we're going to meet and we're going to talk. And she was like, oh yes, I can already see it. I can already see us just talk. Okay? So, and then that facilitated something else I saw where some other people got together, and I'm like, yeah. And one day we're all going to do this together, and I'm going to be there as well. And it was just one of those visions that I got. So what kind of visions are you getting? Please don't ignore those, because the universe is talking to you. They're telling you where you're going to go, how things are going to work out, the fated versus the destiny. And they're also going to come in and tell you, they're telling me to point this out, if you do make a decision that's not the right one, like I had this profound experience one day where when my angels came in and all my guides were talking to me, and they were actually kind of warning me, but I was so caught up in the moment that it took quite a while before I realized that they were warning me, not congratulating me, because I was so caught up in the humanness of the moment. So that can happen too. So if you get so overwhelmed in a feeling of what you're feeling in your personal life, and your guides are trying to come in and give you a message, step back for a while and see what else might you be feeling, that you're being so human in the moment that you are blocking it out. Because I've had that happen to me. So focus on that as well, okay? Because they're not going to steer you wrong, all right? And sometimes even a timely warning is a gift, okay? So then we've got here Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, Higher Learning. So they're definitely also, after coming through a portal, they're also talking about take the lessons that you've learned and write some of them out, no matter how painful they are. Sometimes you have to actually hear something that's hard to hear. Sometimes you have to write out something that's hard to see in print. I did this. Boy, was that wrong, you know? Or I thought I was being told this, come to find out it was this, and then I didn't pay attention anyway. I still make mistakes at 62 years old. Well, I'll be 62 in August, right? So don't relive a lesson or go back to a type of situation or thing that you've already gone through, that you've already learned the lesson from, and you step back into it and you do it all over again and go, why is this showing back up again? Okay, what did I not learn the first time? Is there a wound that has to be healed? So sometimes you even revisit something because there's a wound that you have to heal. And once you learn that and you get out of that, you're able to look back and go, oh, well, there was still this wound. And sometimes you can identify it, sometimes you can't. That's what shadow work is for. Sometimes you have to go back and revisit a spot, a person, a place, a job. Even just walk into the job to walk around and go, ooh, now I know what it was, because you feel it. And you're like, oh, well, let me give that feeling a name. Let me see that. And you can envision it as this dark hole, and you can envision yourself sewing it, going, that's healed now. I'm not going through that again. Okay, so that's a visionary technique you can use to heal something within your psyche, within your aura, that you can step back then after you sew it up and go, okay, what did I learn from that? Why did I step back into that spot? Why did I have to go back and revisit that again? Okay, because sometimes there's one tiny little wound you still have to heal. And then once you do, you step back and you go, whoa, because now your energy feels more complete, right? So that can also open up where you're realizing that you're on a double mission. Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. Because once you learn that and you talk about it, other people too can see it, and they can take that wound. And I recently posted some pictures of some bubbles that are actually from a picture of somebody who's having a birthday party back in the day. But one of the bubbles at the top had a little black spot in it. I was like, oh wow, that's exactly how I envisioned those things I need to let go of. I envisioned this beautiful bubble, and then I blow that black smoke of that past memory that needs to be let go of, or that past wound, into it, and then I watch it float off. And I literally watched the light from the heavens like this. Like, I see she's envisioning this bubble. She's putting all this past whatever in it, and it's been changed into new light to help heal the universe. It's part of your double mission, right? So take that into consideration. So I feel like some of you are going to be doing this, that you're actually going to be healing some of this toxicity or a wound where you've revisited something, okay? And you now put it in this bubble, and you actually, instead of just seeing the blackness in it, you actually see the universe come down, and the bubble go from dark to light, like this one, Like she's envisioning this bubble, and she's realizing, I'm healing this other thing so I can step into my spiritual leadership abilities, or so that I can step forth. And it also means talking about your truth, okay? Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Take all these things you've learned. Talk about them. Because see how the path is going up to this new, what did I just hear? Costa? Does that mean something to somebody? I just heard Acosta, a coast, or a code, or coast, or code, something like that, where you're now envisioning this new path, taking all those lessons. See how the path, she's on the path, and it's leading up to this utopia where, and like maybe it's an ideal place in your mind of where you want to go. And once you reach up here, you take all that new stuff, and you're now on another level of spiritual journey. You're another level of being a spiritual leader, because you do talk about those things. And somebody else can actually take that, what you talk about there, and they can actually rework that or see it in a way where they can now envision something new for themselves. Okay? So this is where your soul gifts, your training, and time to step up. This is where you take those lessons and you step into a new energy of, you see how she's like, even the red is speaking to me here, of how she's gone from, she's put it back to the past. She's now stepping up as a spiritual leader, because now she has something to teach. Now she has something to talk about. Now she has something she can, or he can explore and say, okay, I now can come at this from a different angle, because now I've learned that lesson. I've healed up another wound. There's something new I can talk about. Okay? And this portal opens up, and you decide. You decide where you want to go with this. Because, again, it's the fated versus the destiny. Okay? It's the decision of where do you want to take this? How do you want to take this opening and step into it to teach about it, to speak about it, to show the world what they can do with that wound or that thing that they've healed? How do you want to teach others to forge their own paths? Okay? I'm going to tell y'all this just real quick. I am not in an abusive relationship, but I have been in the past in relationships that were abusive years and years and years and years ago. If you're in any kind of a relationship, I feel this needs to be said. If you're in any kind of a relationship where someone is verbally abusing you, is belittling you, making you feel like you're small, if their needs come first and they don't expect you to ever have any needs, it's toxic. Get the fuck out. That's all I'm going to say. Get out. Okay? Because not everybody else's energy, even if it feels good on the outside, is not meant to be something you're supposed to do from the inside. Does that make sense? Okay? Let me pull some cards to see what may be blocking some of you, or what you may be having show up in your path right now. That, they're telling me to do symbols first. We're going to do symbols first. What kind of spiritual symbols may be showing up in your life that you're not paying attention to, that is a call from the universe to make a different decision and take a different path, or to take a path and do something different in a way that will help more than just you. It will also help other people. What other spiritual symbols may be showing up? What do you need to know? What do they need to know? Angels, ancestors, guides, mine and other people's. What do you want to say? What cards guide my hands, guide this reading? What else do we want to tell them about? What else do they need to know? Guys, these cards are brand new, so they're very slippery. I like them too. I like the front of them. They've got a girl, looks like a girl, might be a guy dressed up as a girl, who knows, walking through this city that looks really dark, but she's got all this bright red around her. She's in her spiritual aura, okay? Now these cards have a positive and a negative, or a on the bright side, on the downside, we'll say. We're going to say on the bright side, on the downside. Readings to them. So underneath, deadlines, running out of time. Stop wasting time. Procrastinate. End of a life phase. New life phase. Make a different decision. Make a different decision. Okay? This is a candle that's been put out where somebody's going, I'm no longer going to live this way. And guys, I've got my spirit candle going. I do spirit candles all the time. I'm just going to show it to y'all real quick. Okay? Purple to me is spirituality. Blue to me is healing. A lot of people see green as healing. I see blue as healing for some reason. That's just my own personal choice, right? Commitments, long-term goals, supportive partnership, savings. Someone has feelings for you, love. Okay? Let me see what I'm on the flip side. Conflicts with the relationship. Listen to others more. Need clarity. Material wealth over relationships. Okay? So take that one how you will. Okay? I have been on this, they've been telling me lately that sometimes they just want me to show the card for the person to get their first instinct. Whatever your first instinct is, that's what you need to go with. So we're kind of in a teaching mode here too. Okay? Now, on top. Seek advice from others. Listen. Anxiety about the past or memory. And need to focus on the important things. So the things that are happening, whatever's happening right now, that is unimportant. Write down. Okay, so they're saying write down a list. And look at the ones that are important, not important. Put them in a different order. Write them down. And then look and see if they're in the correct order. Yes. Edward's saying yes. In the correct order. So that the ones that are not as important, you can put those on the back burner for now. Focus on the ones that are most important. Take the top 3. That's what he just said. Okay. Dilettante. Internal pressure to know everything. Scrutinize. Superficial understanding. Distracted easily. Pretends to know more. Okay? Is there somebody around you right now that pretends to know more than what they do, and they are driving you crazy? Because they know it all. Right? Don't put a lot of weight in that. Okay? On the bright side, easily impresses others with their knowledge, delights in learning many different things, skills in many areas, cares deeply and curious. So, that's the flip side of that one. On the snuff candle one, the flip side of it is victim of rumors of gossip, challenges on spiritual journey, future sickness, damage control. Okay? They just want you to realize that that's now over. Okay? You're now on the flip side of that. One more. Violent, obsessed, single-minded, rowdy, unwieldy, discontented, angry, fear, confusion, nihilistic, ego-driven. Is there somebody around you that you need to cut ties to? Do they show any of these traits? If they do, write their name on one candle, write yours on another, tie a string to it, pull them out as far as they'll go. Light the candles. Name one of the candles as you, one is the other person. Cut the string and cut that energy. Cut cords on that energy. Get this person out of your life. On the flip side, rebellious, freedom, liberation, free speech, break up establishments, firm beliefs, autonomy, philosophical. Okay? Letting go of that person who's like this is going to help you to be more like this, is what they're saying. Rebellious, freedom, liberation, free speech. In other words, this person who is being this way is keeping you from being this way. Does that make sense? Okay. Those are your spiritual symbols. Being called, and now these doors open and you deciding, is where you're cutting those ties. It's right here in the cards, guys. You're cutting those ties. It is time to make a decision that's for you, not for these other people. Okay? All right. So let's see what might be holding you back. Now, switch these energies around, because these could be what the other person is doing or saying. These cards are so slick. And I just did half of them upside down. Wait a minute. Oh, goodness. There it is. Okay. What are these two that just fell out? Being needy. Make friends. Spend time by yourself to take the pressure off your relationship. You believe that it has to be hard, but it doesn't let love flow naturally in your life. Okay? Is somebody being needy? Are you being needy? Are you stopping love from flowing in your life? Because you're thinking it's all one, this has to be this way, when actually it doesn't. That could be what's blocking you right now. Okay? Again, the main part of this reading, none of this matters. Zoom out. Get a better, clear perspective. This too shall pass. Okay? These cards are so slick, they just want to fly off the table. I probably need to put my, you can't see it in the background there, but I've got my white tablecloth with the gold stars on it. I'm going to have to start putting that down here so because these newer decks, I haven't worked with them very much. You want someone who completes you, but you need to be whole on you. You must be whole on your own before you find someone that helps complete you. You have to be whole on your own first. A lot of people think it has to be the other way around. I need someone to complete me. That is an old paradigm. Those paradigms are shifting. Those paradigms are shifting. You're letting those go. They're no longer going to work. If you can't be happy and whole with yourself, you're not going to be happy with somebody else. Okay, take it from this old lady who knows. Okay? Sometimes we get lonely. Sometimes we make poor choices when we're lonely. Okay? Sometimes we act needy, when actually what the universe is trying to show you is that those are all just temporary. You can get out and meet more people. You can go online. Online these days, guys, is so wide open. You can meet, and you have to be careful. You have to be real careful, as well as, you know what I mean? Find the tribe that vibes with you. Okay? I have 3 or 4 different other people that have become friends over the past 3 years. They have YouTube channels too. I've never gotten to meet any of them, but I talk to all of them on a personal level, and I am part of that group, and I love all of them. They are all the most awesome people I have ever met in my life. Okay? And I also keep in touch with a couple of very close friends that are back home, and I just have to. Okay, so let's see what's blocking you. All right? Okay, this one's upside down, or it's facing us. You say you want a lover, but you're not all in. Take time to figure out what you want. Guys, you have to know what you want before you go for it. That could be something that's blocking you right now. Okay? And you can apply that to any other part of your life. You say you want this type of job, but are you willing to do everything it takes to have that job, or to have that place, or to have that thing in your life that you want? Because everything has pros and cons, okay? So they're saying to pay attention to that, all right? You gave up on love because you think you were meant to be alone, but it's not true, okay? Friends come in many dimensions? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm hearing dimensions. Friends come in different shapes, sizes, forms, relationships. We are very social creatures out of habit. Okay, and you can be alone, but not be lonely. That was another thing I've learned over the past year. Guys, you can be in a relationship and still feel lonely. You can still feel like your needs aren't being met. Okay, so just take that into consideration. Too passive. Take initiative to meet someone and to keep the passion ignited. And that has to do with friendships as well as lovers, friends, whatever. Okay, sometimes you have to make up your, like again, you have to make up your mind. Zoom out and look at the bigger perspective, the bigger picture, and see where all these puzzle pieces fit together in your life, okay? And take time to consider outside the box things as well. Sometimes we're so close to the forest we can't see the trees, and you're like, where's the forest? And it's right there, but you got blinders on. Take off those blinders. Step back. Get a bigger perspective. Is this thing going to matter? Is it going to be really important a year from now? Or is this something that's just passing by in your life that you're meant to take a lesson from and keep on going? Whereas a year later, you look back and go, wow, I stuck that out for 2 years, and I should have told that one to go, that one to go. That one, red flags kept coming up that I ignored. This one, no red flags, but at the same time, I was supposed to learn something from that. Take all those things in consideration, okay? Because sometimes our own mindset is what blocks us. Sometimes you have to open up, and these particular cards, guys, they do not come with a book. They've got stuff wrote on them, and I don't know how much we're going to do of the blocking one because it's relationships, but the spiritual symbols and just some of the other things I think are good to give you a sort of like that double mission. Kind of gives you a positive and a not so, what I was going to say, on the bright side and not on the bright side type of view, because everything has a sweet, everything has a sour. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. I'm going to pull a couple of more cards here. I don't know what deck yet. I'm going to see what they tell me to round out this message for you or for us. Okay, I heard that. I have 3 more decks coming, guys, but I got those from magic.com. They take almost 2 months to get your cards to you, but I have some good ones coming. I just heard this deck. Let me pull just a couple to round out these messages for you and see what else. What else do you want to tell them? Another card flipped upside down. Oh, wow. Okay. So, guys, this was like face up in the middle of this deck. Planetary wave, soul mission, trust the inner call, soul team. So many of us are stepping into spiritual leader roles. Over the next 3 years. So they're telling me that there's going to be some people that are going to rotate out and new ones rotate in, because we're on this planetary wave of like this wave comes in, and then actually I have a picture of one, and that's what they're talking about. Okay. We're gonna do one on that. It's about a planetary wave. So they just told me one of the pictures that I put up on my post one day was there was like these waves in the clouds, and they're like, that's what they're talking about, that energy coming in on waves. So they just, okay. So they just confirmed something from me, and people are going to think I'm crazy if I say that. So guys, they're just confirming for me that they're telling me something that, okay, I don't know how I can say this that makes sense to everybody. Well, it makes sense to me, but I'm like, they're just saying that like some people from the recent past, other things from the recent past that other people know, that like there's like a group of people that have been coming in and being led by a certain guides and angels and giving messages and stuff, who are now going to step up into some kind of different position, okay? They're going to be called to do something different, okay? And make some new choices that are going to talk to another level of people that have spiritually evolved more. And then there's going to be a new group coming in to talk to the newer people that are just now stepping into their spiritual life, that are meant to guide those people, the torchbearers. Yeah, that's the way they want me to explain it. That's not the way I originally took it, but they're saying it's the same thing. It's just my own perspective and their perspective. Okay, so that's going to be the next reading that we do. They're also mentioning, oh God, what was her name? I keep hearing Dolores Claiborne, but that's not her. That was Kathy Bates in a movie of Stephen King's. Doris, I can't remember her last name. The heavyset lady with the red hair that talked about the 3 waves of people coming in. We're in the midst of that right now. I'm going to have to go and look her up. They're telling me to look her up, because she talked about 3 distinct waves, and they're talking about that right now. And this like best explains it, they say. So guys, that's it. Wow, this message is not going to resonate for everybody. Some of you are being called to now step up, to step into this new thing, to help these people that have already, it's like the leaders of the future who have been teaching for a while are now stepping up to the next level with the next level students, and the new teachers are coming in with the next level of students that were where those other ones were. Does that make sense? It's another wave coming in. Wow. Okay, we're going to leave that one right there. That is a side message. So let's get a card for you. So you've been working on your spiritual journey for a while. If you're teaching in some sort of way, or if you're thinking about teaching in some sort of way, you may be part of one of those waves. That is the message. Okay. Yeah, that was a personal message. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And some of you are going to be like other people I know of. You are going to teach and show, but you're also going to be part of one of those waves. You're like, that's the double mission. Part of the double mission. And that's not exactly what I was getting from this card earlier. It shifted. It just shifted. Yeah. And some of you, it's like you're coming out of the dark. You're realizing that everything you've taught so far, you're now getting ready to shift up to this next level. You're going to shift from this, where you've learned everything and taught some stuff. Now you're going to shift into the 5D more, and your students are going to go with you. And you're like another one of those planetary waves. This message just came in, guys. Okay. It's the next level. Do you see that? It's the next level. Next level, next level I'm hearing. All right. I got it. Oh, they just told me something that relates to me personally that suddenly made this past year make so much sense. So much sense. I love it when my guides step up and tell me something where I felt like something wasn't working or something wasn't right, and they come in and they tell me, but it has a purpose. Just something happened to you over the past year and a half that felt like it had no purpose, or you sat back and you revisited something that now you suddenly realize it has a whole nother purpose to it. Has a whole nother major epiphany, guys. They just came in to tell me a couple of things that make so much sense. Thank you so much. Yay. All right, underneath. Clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Oh my God, guys, I can't make this shit up. Some of you are on that first wave, and you're now going into the second wave. Okay, where you're stepping up your teaching, you're stepping up your skills, you're taking your students with you. And the next group is coming in to take the next level of torchbearers to teach them and go into the future. Awesome, awesome, awesome. They just opened up a door for me, guys, that is just speaking so loudly. I'm going to sit here and bawl, so I'm going to just go on with your message. Okay. More joy coming in. More happiness, stepping into a whole new you. See all this pink loving of self light coming in? Like pink quartz. If you do not have a pink quartz, get one. It will help your heart to stay light, so that when you're letting go of anything that no longer fits, you're going to be in this rainbow energy. Your heart light's going to shine. Those of you that are torchbearers, this is your next step. By realizing that you are meant to be here for a purpose, and it does not mean a fig what anyone negative in your life is telling you. You are meant to shine your light. It's a call for shifts. If you've been feeling stuck, it is time to be unstuck. You are being called to step in. See all this green up here? You are being called to step into this. You are being called. Whereas maybe you weren't sure You're now sure. Do you see that? Major epiphany. You are stepping into this. Guys, I did not mean this to turn. They just came in to tell me these extra messages. You're coming out of the dark and you're stepping into your true life's path at this time. That's the energy that's coming. That's the energy that's coming. Leaving it right there. This is definitely not going to resonate with everybody. This is for some of the spiritual leaders that are coming in the future. That's what they just told me. Guys, follow your heart's journey and where your angels and ancestors are telling you to go. Because there is something so big coming for you. You just have no clue. Lighthouse.